Yeah, this is my response to my previous video talking about how the black community can learn how to uplift themselves. And this is the one that I think is an interesting topic. How can you possibly learn how to cook? Now, of course, many people would probably think if you want to learn how to cook, you would use fresh ingredients such as chicken and all that sort of stuff. But to be honest with you, those ideas, of course, it sounds, it makes sense at face value, but you have to realize something. If you keep on bringing lots of food, you're going to use up a lot of food, even if it's for cheap, and they reuse the same thing. Not only will it smell, it could get rotten, you could get sick. It'll just be a huge waste of food, and it'll attract a lot of insects and rodents and all that sort of stuff. That stuff can come later, but you have to realize something about learning how to cook is that learning how to cook, it pretty much consists of well, of course, not coming with a with a chef degree, but this is just consisting of common sense from what everybody sees. It's just consisting of learning how to cut, how to season, how to season, and also how to mix up the stuff in there. That's pretty much it, really. Mix it up. So what I want people to do is I want people to enjoy doing what they're doing as much as possible. And I feel one way, to be honest with you, to really get into cooking, because that's one of my ideas about life, is I believe, honestly, depending on the presenter, you can pretty much really get into anything you imagine you could get into. To be honest with you, one thing I suggest is that maybe you have, if you have another friend who's interested in cooking, being a chef as well, you share experiences with each other, about cooking. Maybe you could have discussions about actual debates. I know this sounds a bit out there, but this is what I believe is true. You can have debates about cooking. You could have discussions about cooking. You might have discussions about different methods of cooking, and what's more effective. So, I don't know too much about the details of this, but this is just an example that would make perfect sense, because I'm sure they have different methods. Your friend might say, if you want to cut something, it's best you cut it like this. You might say instead it's better to cut like this. You see what I'm saying? It's just something to have fun, share experiences with, talk about, maybe share stories, have discussions. Maybe you might read news articles together or something, or just in general, you might just read any interesting news article about cooking, in general, and learn interesting facts about it, such as what's the hardest cooking style, just anything to get you interested in just learning in the process about it. Now, when it actually comes to practicing, one thing I suggest, I know this sounds pretty ghetto, but, like I said, some of my viewers, who knows, maybe they're actually from the ghetto, but maybe, to be honest with you, to practice learning how to cut, maybe you could practice, just practice with an object that is hard, maybe, for example, you might decide you want to shape Play-Doh in the shape of a chicken. At least if you can shape it in a chicken leg or something. I think they have something at a store where you can actually shape it in the form of a chicken leg. In the form of a chicken leg. You might roll up Play-Doh and shape it in the form of a ball to symbolize a ball. To symbolize a potato. Or something. And through that process, maybe, of course it's not exactly accurate, but through that process you can practice cutting it over and over again, cutting it. Maybe you cut it this way, maybe you cut it like this, and of course it would be easy to just put it back together because it's Play-Doh, you know, and just in any shape, you know, and just practicing over and over again what you've learned, and maybe you'll notice over time your cutting styles actually become better as you progress. You know, you'll notice maybe, for example, you're more precise, you know, with your cutting. And besides, if you're doing something all day, you know, and you actually find it really fun, you know, please don't set a certain time or anything. Just do it for whenever you feel like doing it. Of course, you're going to become better at it. And you don't even have to use a real knife. Of course, not a real knife, but use like a plastic knife, you know, like a plastic knife used for cutting, and just do it over and over again. I'm pretty sure you'll make some sort of progress. You know, to be honest with you. The second idea, you know, about the seasoning sort of thing, I think, to be honest with you, this one is a bit more complicated for me to give a suggestion on, but to practice seasoning in a conventional way, I think what you need to do is maybe you need I don't know, maybe you just need to take like something flat, you know, or just take like food coloring or something, you know, because pretty much all seasoning consists of just simply liquids or sauce or liquids, thick liquids on food or something. So you could just practice maybe mixing something up with food coloring, and you could see through that process how well it blends well. You know, because you have to realize something. For cooking or something, depending on how well you blend the seasonings together, you're more likely to notice it. Just practice blending it up, and maybe just, you know, I know it feels disgusting, but maybe just blending it up and all that sort of stuff. Just the sauce, though, I don't think you should pour it on the Play-Doh. Just mixing up the fake stuff and maybe reusing it. I guess for the thick thing, you could just maybe put like flour. I don't know. Just come up with an idea and just mix it up over and over again and see how well it mixes together. Because look at this. If you're mixing up something and it has more flow to it, do you think it makes more sense that you're actually learning how to mix it up more effectively, especially if you actually like doing it, than something that you do not like doing it? It's just like, for example, maybe in the past you might have had an experience where you helped your mom bake something. Did you notice that it seemed a time when you mixed up the sugar in the sugar or something? Because just remember the time you might have cooked something at school, you know, when you guys were cooking something, the better something looked mixed up, the more effective, the better it actually tasted. Because it would make sense, because the more effective it would blend, you would be able to see that with the food coloring. Maybe if it forms a certain color or something. You know, and for the actual mixing up the stuff, well, I guess that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, you know. And for it, to be honest with you, just learning how to cut and just making sauces. And I guess an example for learning how to cut, to be honest with you, it's just teaching you precision, to be honest with you. It's just like if you're cutting like wood or something, the more you cut it, even if it's just for fun, as long as you're practicing it a certain way, you're gonna have to make some progress. And those are just my suggestions in general to teach you to learn how to cook without having to go to school. You just always remember safety precautions. Never forget safety. And at the same time, make sure you never forget. Um, you never forget that you have to go to school if you really want it to be good. But this is at least some sort of practice. You can do, and who knows, maybe you can be self-taught with all of the information. Who knows, man? And as a result, you'll learn how to cook more effectively with gathering the information, tips, and actual practice, and just mixing all that information together and becoming a better cook in a cheap, more effective way, instead of going to classes and not even learning much. And that's my video, and that's all I have to say.